Hello and welcome to sort of a pre a part two to yesterday's video because I got on today, and even though the flood has ended, there have been some new developments. This dike seems to be compromised. It was a bit worse a little while ago, but the water has certainly got higher on this dike than it was yesterday. This area is still pretty flooded out. The spillway is doing pretty well at diverting water away from this neighborhood, which is its job. But it does seem like this area is getting hit pretty hard right now. So I wanted you guys to see. Of course, if you haven't seen yesterday's video, you can check it out here. Water is seeming to be going down up here, upriver here, but it's still remaining pretty high when you get further down. Particularly over here, it's starting to work its way around this flood wall a bit. I mean, that's still, it would have to raise pretty high in order to flood out this area, but that's definitely a weak spot that I may have to consider changing in the future. High is pretty, I mean, high is the river. The river, the Asinine River, is pretty high. It's sort of the Asinine River is sort of a weak spot in my whole flood defense system because it's all pretty much focused on the Rouge, but this river could cause problems in the future. Its banks are pretty high. If you, like just looking over here, the water would have to go up quite a bit in order to threaten this neighborhood. The industrial area might be a bit worse off. And certainly some of the bridges are a bit too low for this kind of flood. Our newest neighborhood is doing pretty well though. It's probably one of the safest neighborhoods in the city as it's rather far away from the river, unless the insane river could cause problems in the future, but it seems alright now. So hopefully this will be a major area in the city that will be relatively safe. A pretty major development is this area is starting to get hit pretty hard by the flood. It's backed up over this particularly weak point in the dike system and is flowing through this neighborhood, which, if you'll recall from the second video, this area got hit pretty hard and this defense system was built to protect it, but it seems it's been circumvented by a weak point in the dike on this end. So we have a lot of, it's not too badly flooded, but it will still cause some problems, some pretty serious problems if not controlled properly. This area has been the worst hit during this flood. As you can see, some of these houses are almost completely submerged, and mainly due to this weak point and the lower section of the dike on this side. Because this last flood was, the first flood was about a 0.60 flow. This one is a 0.72, so it's a bit worse than the flood that we had in the second episode. Looky, it's my car, it's my beautiful car. Oh, I love my new car, it's such a beauty. I love these things. Now say hello to the newest member of, or citizen of Flood City, Oran Salmers, who requested he live right by his inspired creation. So he lives right here, and you know, things aren't looking particularly good in this neighborhood right now, so be careful what you wish for, you know. I think you're an elderly gentleman, so hopefully you live. Yeah, you're a senior, unemployed, or I should say retired, and it looks like you're married to a Rosemary Lee. You probably lived your whole lives together, grew old together, and will die together, either of old age or in a horrible flood surge, drowning and screaming. Wow, what a bummer. So I thought I'd give the spillway a name, since it seems to be working so nicely. Henceforth, this will be known as the Oran Spillway, named after its creator, Oran Somers, who the city owes a great debt to, and will be a hero whose name will live through the ages. Really hope I'm saying the name right, otherwise that's kind of embarrassing. But all in all, the flooding seems to have has subsided in this part of town. There is still a little bit of the commercial district that is having some problems, and this particular building seems to be flooded and on fire, which actually is a more common occurrence than you may think. Read about the Grand Forks flood in 1997 and you'll see. However, this area is still pretty underwater. And of course, I've come up with a new rule that once a flood has started, I cannot modify flood protection, because really I could just fix anything if I wanted to, and there would be no challenge in that. So once a flood has started, I cannot do any increases to flood protection. I wish there was like a mod where you could put sandbags down. That would be once a flood started, I can only use the sandbags. It'd be a bit more realistic, and I would just do a small barrier that would help a bit, but not much. That'd be cool. So somebody, any modders out there, get on her, and I'll name something after you. I'll give you a citizen or something, and you'll be remembered for the rest of time as being the inventor of a bag full of sand. Well, I finally did it. When I record those little sort of cinematic shots, I always turn down the volume on my microphone so it doesn't get background noising, because that was a problem that I've been having for a while, and I knew that one day I was gonna do those shots and then forget to put the volume back up, and I just did that now, where I just recorded a whole bunch of stuff and looked beside me to see those little knobs turn to 0, and it was pretty good stuff. There's some pretty good banter and stuff, so I guess I'll just do it over again and hope for the best. Anyways, seems like the flooding has gone down. Our neighborhoods are drying out now. Water levels seem to have come back to normal. But before we go, I thought I would do one last look at our citizens. First of all, Fox the Gamer, one of our oldest, one of our oldest citizen in Flood City. In his old age now, he's highly educated, highest wealth, unemployed, but that's just another word for retired. And obviously he's rich, so it doesn't matter. Unfortunately, I noticed while I was recording the first time that his wife just passed away, so I'm sorry that your beloved wife, who you grew old with, just, died. But it seems like you have a few kids, Holly and Carol, so that's all good. So you're just relaxing at home, waiting for the inevitable demise of your organic body as it decays and fails, and your electronic activity ceases to happen in your brain. So I guess you're just reflecting on your life, being all nostalgic, thinking of the floods you've survived and whatnot. So best of luck to you. Hopefully you're alive in the next episode, but I'm gonna say you probably won't be, so enjoy it while you're there. Now let's go take a look at our newest citizen, Oran Somers, who I made somebody for, but he died in about 3 seconds, probably because he was elderly, so I made a new one. He's highly educated, high wealth, an adult, excellent health, very happy, lives right here. So, you want it to be by your creation. Be careful what you wish for. And you work at M&H Clothing. Presumably you're some executive there, considering you're highly wealthy. So you got a bit of a commute, and despite the fact that you're rich, you're still taking the bus. I guess you're an environmentalist or something. Hank Hamburger, what are you up to? Looks like you're kicking it at home. Oh no. I need to bring up his thing. You're a young adult, well educated, highest wealth, excellent health, very happy. You live over here in one of the probably safest neighborhoods in the city, and you work at Live Long and Training, which is where you are at the moment. Pretty large family, and you're working hard to make something of yourself in your early adult life. Hank Hamburger. Oh no, I just did you. I'm confused now. I'm so confused. Let's just go on to Oren Summers, who I already did. God damn it. I think I'm getting into my old age. AJ Murphy, that's who we haven't done. Looks like you're walking to school. And it looks like you have a skateboard. I guess you're a bit of a skater guy. Well educated, highest wealth. What's with all you people? You're all filthy friggin' rich. And you're like 20 or 18 or something. Jeez. This is a pretty prosperous city. 1%, more like 100%. Now Mr. Hank Burger still lives over here. I know that's not here. You know, I don't know who I have done and who I haven't done. So you know what? I'm confused. So let's just call it a day. Anyways, this was just sort of a part 2 to the last episode, because I got on today and noticed that there was still some action going on. It seemed like the worst flooding, so I decided to record a little prologue to yesterday's episode, assuming the prologue is the thing that comes after and not before. Not 100% sure. Probably should have looked that up in the dictionary, but I got a 50-50 chance of that being correct or incorrect. And I'm alright with those odds. So, until the next episode, see ya.